Hi, welcome to Trading Without Fear. I'm going to be a little bit quiet because the wife and baby's asleep. So this is basically a recap of DRNG, a trade that I did on the 15th. This is the first trading error I've had in a while. So I just want to go over that, what my thought processes was, what ended up happening in the trade. Let's go ahead and jump into that real quick. In the trade right now, I have 56,000 shares at a price of 0.0071. I ended up swing trading that over last night from this first green day pattern with the nice continuation right here. I do think it's potential that I could try to test a penny at some point. So that's not the price I'm aiming for. That's just the price I think it may try to test at some point. So that's why I have that order there, just in case the chart actually looks like it may do that. So this is the trade that I did on the 15th. My entry was at 0.005895. And this is a trade that I was doing for the $130 challenge. Now, the problem that I had with this trade was fear. It's been a while since I've actually traded an OTC trade. And with the small account, one of the concerns that I had was commissions. So before I even entered into the trade, I started being concerned about what the commissions may do if I was robbing the trade. And with these small sub-penny stocks, a small move equals out to be a big percent. So I was trying to get into it during this kind of consolidation here, and my original thought process was to buy into it around this candle, so anywhere between the 5.7s to 5.8s. And I ended up getting to it pretty much closer to 5.9 right here on this candle. And my risk was down here, which would have been almost a 10% risk. So I actually did a 5% risk instead, so around this area. The moment I actually got into the trade, I ended up pulling my stops, and I was looking for a 15% price target to sell. And as soon as I entered into the trade out of fear, I ended up pulling my bracket orders off, and kind of was letting the trade just kind of do its thing. And if I would have left my 5% risk intact, it would have never actually violated that, and it would have got me out for a 15% gain. What ended up happening is that fear caused me to actually not only recognize that the chart was kind of going in my favor. It would have never actually reached my risk, but it would have actually got me out for the day with a profit, and the profit would have been about $50. But what ended up happening is the chart just came down sideways, and because it came down, and the fear of losing money caused me to actually lose money at one point. It's down to like $160. I ended up holding on to it. One of the biggest reasons why I held on to it was because the overall chart was actually uptrending. So I did end up taking a profit onto it. I sold it yesterday, which was the 9 versus my profit was 82.93. I don't know if that was accurate or not, but that's what my tracker says. With commissions and everything, it works out to be like $73.03. So the biggest mistake that I had was being fearful before I even entered into the trade. If I would have just recognized, I was aiming for a 15% price target, would have left my 5% risk on there. I would have gotten profit, got out on there. And what would have ended up happening was I would have kept track of it and saw this uptrending chart and ended up buying it down here at some point, or maybe even when it broke out of this 5 range and ended up taking a profit up here. And so because my fear actually caused me to narrow my attention on the object of my fear, I am doing exactly the same thing that I was trying to avoid, such as taking a loss. And I wouldn't recommend any new trader or any trader for that matter to try to hold on to a losing trade and hope that it comes back. This was a completely bad trade altogether. No matter whether or not I had a profit or not, it really wasn't smart for me to actually hold on to a trade, especially being down 160. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this recap real fast, to kind of go over my mindset of what I did before I entered in a trade. And for you guys, if you're entering into a trade out of fear, and the moment you get into it, you're fearful, that is going to actually influence of how you're perceiving the chart and the outcome that may end up happening on that chart as well, or even on the trade may actually be influenced based off of the fear before you enter the trade. And because I was fearful of losing money purely based off commissions, I could have actually cut it for a much larger loss. Now, even though in the end it actually worked out, it's something that you guys can actually learn from. Right now, the chart that I'm currently in right now this is what it looks like. So I sold my original position at 0.0073. I saw this ABCD pattern right here, and you can see it uptrending right here on this chart, and there was a kind of like a resistance around this area. So I ended up taking a position at 7.1, and I was watching the baby. So when it started coming down here, and again, I also didn't use a bracket order on this because it should have stopped me out right here if I was trading this correctly. I didn't put the bracket order on it. I thought even if it did come down, what I should have done was actually wait until the last little bit of the day and take a position down here, and I could have sold out whatever profit would have had in the morning. But I ended up taking a position here, thinking that there's a potential that it can continue going on. So even though the current day's chart looks like this, I'm not too worried about it. It could easily, have another higher low and continue on either in the afternoon or later on. I don't know what potentially could happen. The stock does have a history of spiking early in the morning, consolidating most of the day, and then kind of just fading a little bit later on in the day. Especially with the market conditions that we have now, market's been pretty red overall. Today is actually up a little bit, but we'll see what ends up happening. So my risk on this one is if it actually fills this area down here, and I take a small couple of dollar loss plus commissions and get out. So I'm just going to try to let this trade work and see what will happen over the next couple of days.